Hello. It is the year 2119. And there is an echo. The mega corporations hold New Europe in their grip, and the metropolis spanning AI Gaia keeps the peace, keeps the atmospheric processes going, keeps the wheels of economic prosperity rolling, in theory. But the gulf between theory and practice in the 22nd century leaves a lot to be desired.
Chrono, we lost you, sound-wise. I wasn't sure if we lost you until Drut breathed. I thought I lost everyone.
Until I breathed.
Have you got me now?
Yes.
Well, yes, we do. You breathed out. That's
where
I was like,
when
okay.
you lifted your mic up, it died. I'm guessing it's picking up the wrong mic.
OBS is picking up the wrong. Great.
No matter how many checks you do, there will always be one thing.
Bear with me a few moments, folks, while I try and get this. Why is it picking up the wrong mic? No, that's picking up the right. VC is picking up the wrong mic. That's why. Right, can everyone hear me now?
And much better.
Guessing chat can also hear me still through all of that. Excellent. Right. Let's start that again, shall we? It is the year 2119. The mega corporations hold New Europe in their grip, and the metropolis spanning AI Gaia keeps the peace, keeps the atmospheric processes going, keeps the wheels of economic prosperity rolling, in theory. But the gulf between theory and practice in the 22nd century leaves a lot to be desired, and from secret and not so secret bases around the continent-sized city, mercs of all temperaments try to claw something, anything, back from the forces and circumstances arrayed against the folks on and under the streets. Welcome back to the near-future dystopia of the Gaia complex, and welcome to Hint Plays. I'm Chrono Magistrate, aka Anil, and I will be your games master tonight for session 4 of Took a Midnight Train. With me tonight are Nightbite, Druttercup, Shard Angel, and Seragil. Now, Hint Plays is a channel for RPGs and tabletop gaming of many stripes, featuring players from Hobby Gamers International, a convivial conclave of creatives from around the world. We generally run games on a 3-week rotation on both Saturdays and Sundays, with a varied cast of players and GMs, along with the occasional specials, board games evenings, and general chats about gaming. Now, with that out of the way, let's meet our team. Drut, would you care to introduce Demon?
Oh dear. Demon, yes. Demon is a core hacker. Her occupation is getting into the systems that Gaia doesn't want her to, and extracting any information that she's being paid to obtain, plus anything else that she thinks might be interesting. Occasionally, she will also mess with people's spreadsheets just to fuck with them.
Thank you very much. And Nightbites, what about Corax?
So I'm playing Corax, aka Arlo Bourbon, who is a feral, aka a offshoot of humanity, with a affinity for working very closely with animals, and using that ability to in a line of surveillance with a side hustle of strategic transfer of equipment to alternate locations.
Nicely said. And Seragil, tell us about Silver.
Silver is a cyberdoc. You better watch your limbs so that he doesn't take one, replace it with something else. Not because he's nasty, he just likes to tinker with everything.
Oh god, it's Robbins.
Oh, great. Sorry, we just had a bot.
Yep. That would be why when I tried to ban them, it said they've already banned in this channel. It's like, okay.
Was that Demon's fault?
Demon is bringing them out of hiding.
Yes, Demon says hello suddenly, bot.
Thank you. And Shard, tell us a bit about Vault.
I'm playing Vault, also known as Daria Morgan. She is a feral data dealer and has a companion, Crow, which she uses as her business partner for all intents and purposes. I don't know much else to say on that. She deals in data and tries to get us as much money as possible.
That's all good. So, last time on Took a Midnight Train, you continued your infiltration of the Telwer Morton Peak sub-office construction depot here in the industrial districts between Bruss and the Luxemsprawl. You were sent here by your handler, Vanda, to infiltrate the offices, find out what they're up to, and obtain both physical and digital information about their activities. Notably, to try and steal some, liberate some construction chemicals that they believed to be on site.
As well as the chemical makeup of them and information on them.
Yeah, and if you could disrupt their operations in doing so, so much the better.
I think the disruption of the operations was the primary goal, wasn't it?
Oh yes, actually it was. I got that the wrong way around. Yeah, disruption was primary, and then theft of chemicals was secondary. Sorry.
I mean, the order that we did it in.
That's true. That's what I'm remembering.
Yeah.
And
We focused on getting the chemicals, but to be honest, messing with their spreadsheets is probably the bigger deal.
I mean,
All the scheduling.
At least from the ground operations, the day-to-day stuff, yes. While you were there, however, you encountered a strange setup down in the basement as well, and found that there was a captive being held who had been drugged into unconsciousness. You freed said captive and have retired from the operations, having dealt with 3 out of the 4 security guards and persuaded the last one to leave. And you have retired for the rest of the night, or early morning, since it's about 5 o'clock in the morning, along with your insensate captive and a new canine companion at your heels.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
You have you have Muffin the security dog with you.
I mean, that wasn't exactly hard for me.
We've yet to determine just how much of Muffin is going to be original and how much is going to be aftermarket modifications. I think it depends what Severgill pulls.
So yes, you retired to this tavern, this pub, acquired some lodgings for the rest of the night, and were waiting for your guest to awaken. We left last session on the cliffhanger of said guest having awakened and wondering who you are with a thick British accent. However, we are going to step back a little bit just because we were doing some discussions off stream, and there was one thing that Serigil, you wanted to do prior to said person waking up.
Yeah, I wanted to check to see if he had anything on him, like cyberware wise, that if we messed with him would reveal our location. Drut suggested blowing up. I hadn't gone quite that far. But yeah, I'd like to check him for any surveillance or...
I would like to
Okay.
point out, I was concerned about him having something that might blow him up, not that you could blow him up.
No, you know what I mean.
Just
Yeah,
for 100% clarity there.
Yep, best to be clear about all these things.
Yep.
So yes, you do a medical check whilst he is unconscious, and it reveals that you're pretty certain no surgery has taken place on him recently. You're confident that there are no implants, there are no trackers. He is uncybered. He is a strong physical specimen that has got by just on brute strength. He's no stranger to having been in fights. You can tell that he is scarred from previous incidents. But of note that you can tell recently, aside from the repeated druggings and the needle insertion points of that, you can see there's evidence of a recent fight. Cuts and bruises are somewhere between maybe a week to 10 days old, you reckon. Difficult to tell, given that he has probably been maltreated whilst in the cell. The bruise patterning, however, does look a little bit odd, and you're racking your brain as to why this might be, and then you suddenly draw upon your weapons expertise and knowledge of armaments, and realise that they are consistent with the injury sustained by close exposure to a concussion grenade. Weapon that is not commonly used in or around New Europe. Most of you would also know from your knowledge of arms and such. Concussion grenades are not commercially available. So, do you wish to do anything with that information prior to him waking up?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Are you telling anyone else, or are you just keeping that one under your hat?
No, I'll tell everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll share.
That's the next question on the what are you doing with this information? It's, could it be potentially valuable later? Am I going to sit on it?
No, I'll share that, I think.
Okay.
Look through.
Anything that you guys want to discuss or such with that information prior to?
I'm not sure that.
Okay, if he was subject to a concussion grenade, that logically means that he was captured in action.
If they're not commercially available, that does tie in with him having a military jacket.
Yeah.
If it is indeed his.
The question is, was it his grenade or was it used on him and whoever he was with?
Same with the jacket. Because that's a big jump from jacket in corporate office versus prisoner in basement. It seems like a good jump, but...
Yeah, I mean, it does tie together, you've got a military jacket and a military prisoner, or a military apparent prisoner. But, yeah, it's basically, where was he taken? I think we need to add to his list of questions. What was he doing when he was captured?
We don't really have a military in this city anymore. The police force was disbanded.
Yeah, in that case, somebody does, in which case, that's now useful information to have.
Mm-hmm.
Might be valuable information. Right. There might be other people who'd like to know that there's paramilitary/military operating in this city. Always good to be ahead of the story. Right.
Indeed. So, unless there is anything further you wish to discuss or such before he wakes up, we will jump forward to him waking up, and it's like when he wakes up, he kind of like, you see him leap backwards on the bed to put a little bit of distance between himself and the group. And it's, bloody hell, who the hell are you? And as I said, that thick British accent comes through. Most of it from media memory. You would recognise this as not a New Europe accent that is common.
Well done, by the way, for sounding like Jason Statham doing an American accent, doing a British accent.
We will see how long I can keep that up for.
Yes, that's... Where the hell would they have been isolated enough to maintain the accent?
You do notice that he is glancing around, kind of like looking. You see him basically doing threat assessment, very visible,
Very sensible.
and his arms, whilst not fully raised, look like they're in a guarded position.
Are you?
I'm going to try and reassure him. Sir, no one's going to try and kill you. Not for 10 minutes.
No one's going to try and kill him longer than that.
We didn't break you out of where you were just to kill you 10 minutes later. Not going to happen.
No.
And you say that.
30.
So, are you then officer, or is your last name Rigel?
How, like, so what is your dispositions at this? Your stances, your dispositions, how are you arranged in the room?
I am leaning up against an end table. You know, that my hips checked against it. I'm slightly standing with my legs crossed. My arms are across my chest, with one sitting up in a very casual but not unattractive pose.
Mm-hmm.
Demon has co-opted, probably, this is a hotel room, the one chair that's not comfortable for any normal human, and is currently on the back two legs with her feet propped up on the end of the bed, and is just looking with genuine curiosity. But one hand is probably trying to persuade Muffin to sniff it so that she can get on good terms with the dog.
What about Corax and Silver?
Corax is probably sat on the floor, back up against the wall, knees up, offering Muffin the remnants of the meaty snacks that were required prior to going on the mission.
I see, that's cheating. You know, you get the dog's attention by giving the dog treats. I mean, come
Exactly.
on.
I'm going to look at Muffin. I'm going to pat my leg to get their attention, and then I'm going to point at Knight's character and nod. And my animal handling should allow for that to actually happen.
I mean, because it runs off a lure, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Your lure is 8
Explain
or
why
9.
I'm getting nowhere.
I mean, you could give it a roll if you wanted.
Untrained animal handling roll with a 3 allure. You know what? No, I'm just going to go with bribery when I get the option.
That's fair. And Silver.
Silver is, I'd say, probably the closest one to possibly.
Oh, God.
Rigel,
Mm-hmm.
who I don't think he always realizes that he looks intimidating.
I mean,
But he's trying to be open and reassuring.
okay. So positive bedside manner with a giant with a large
Yes.
cyber arm.
Plus, like, bits of facial scarring.
Mhm.
He looks fairly rugged, I would say, but
Okay.
doesn't realize it.
Right.
What's Silver's allure?
8.
Oh,
Gods.
So, is anybody apart from Silver kind of like between him and the door?
I am.
You
The
are. Okay.
the end table that I'm sitting at is next to the bed between him and the door.
Okay then. So, He. Oh,
Express
actually, the other thing is, does you did take his jacket, or you did take
Yes,
the
I
jacket?
I do have it.
Is it visible? Does anybody have it out, or
I'll have it over my shoulder.
okay? So when you
That looks
mention
like you looted him.
when you mentioned the name Rigel, he looks at you, and his eyes look at the jacket.
It's a yes or no
Yeah,
question, mate.
you can call me Rigel. That's my jacket you got there.
Is it? All right. Well, here you can have it back then. I don't think there's anything in it because whoever had it before us probably emptied it.
I haven't got anything in the way of cyber eyes, damn it.
So you're handing
I
it
am
back.
cursing.
Okay. He gingerly takes it from you, shakes it, looks at it, and then shrugs it on, and you can see that it fits him well. Cheers.
So you're part of a military of some sort. All our military around here is a police force made out of robots.
Well, not military, but you're the ones who busted me free, are you?
Yep.
Well, we thought we'd take him a souvenir and, you were portable.
He looks a little confused at your phrasing, but well, thanks. I'm free to go.
We'd like to ask some questions and gain some information if we might. I mean, you had to have been a prisoner for some reason.
Well,
And your accent isn't from around here, and that makes us very curious.
well, sure, but it's not like I can pay you for the rescue. Out of interest, what happened to the guy?
Which guy?
The guy?
We have an option for 3 guys.
Can we rewind a minute? There was talk of payment for the rescue. You said you couldn't pay. I do believe negotiations might be open to favours owed.
Yeah. Payment in kind is payment.
Yeah.
And information is worth a lot.
I think in
light
response
dawns
to his accent.
there's a light dawning in his eye, or rather, you see a light. It's almost like that. There is a light bulb gone off. Ah, you're mercs then.
I thought that might have been obvious.
Never
Yes,
know these
private,
days.
Contractors.
I mean, the four of us have quite different styles. We're not exactly an organized group.
I think in reaction to his accent, Demon's Italian is starting to come through in some of the pronunciation a bit more, which doesn't normally. She kind of maintains this kind of mid-European generalized accent, but every now and then it's going to be Sicilians coming straight through there.
Yeah,
But-
something in the racial memory there.
Yes, you've got enough people who will try and maintain a language.
Yeah.
There'll be an accent come through.
Right, mercs.
Who were you expecting? Who were you expecting to come rescue you?
Frankly,
Hello, three.
no one.
But you thought we might be. So does somebody care enough about you to pay for your rescue? This isn't in the nature
Maybe.
of a shakedown. It's just trying to find if you have any friends.
Well, if they if they're still around, then yeah, we can come to an agreement. I just have to get back there.
Where is it you're needing to get back to?
It looks like he pauses for a few moments, like he's internally debating. Demon and Vault. What are? Oh, let me check what skill is going to be needed here.
The stupid thing is, if we wanted to not be nice to this guy, that's when Demon would be useful.
Yeah, funny that.
Because I got interrogation and I got intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we hadn't killed the guys and we hadn't let the woman security officer go, that would have worked out okay.
Okay, so Daria, you have persuasion with an allure of 9. Yeah, that's good enough. Why won't this minimize? Oh, interesting. Let's minimize that there then. Look, if you can get me back to, an the outskirts of Paris Sprawl. Sorry, Paris Zone. I can make it worth your while.
How far is that on public transport that we're kind of stuck with?
Yeah, so if you're taking the rail network, you're looking at about probably anywhere between 2 to 3 hours, depending on how long you've got to wait for interchanges.
Oh, that's not terrible then. I was wondering, if we were going to be stuck for a week waiting for the right train.
No. He
Could be worse.
He gauges. If you look, whoever they were, they took all my gear, and
You say whoever they were. How did you end up in someone's basement, being shown the pretty lights?
oh, you saw the
yes, we did.
the equipment they used.
Demon will reach into her backpack and pull out the lights.
Oh God! Why would you do that? Damn it, Demon!
Smile
he
politely
smirks.
and put them back in the bag.
He smirks. Try for too long to use them. They did. Thankfully, anyway.
Interrogation proof, are you?
Well,
she says interrogatively.
He kind of like sidesteps that and says, "Look, 100 quid. Neck. You use neck. 100 neck each if you can get me back to Montreal."
Well, you don't have that on you, so I assume this is from your friends.
Yeah, assuming they're still there. Otherwise, like payment in kind.
Well, that seems like a reasonable amount.
Yeah. Well, and whatever the cost of the train is.
Oh yeah, expenses.
I mean,
But
like the ticket there will be 10 neck each.
Oh yeah. But you still haven't mentioned what you were doing that put you into their basement. Are they pursuing you? Are they likely to pursue you? Was it simply a coincidence?
It depends. Did you
Your body's not there, therefore they know you're not there.
Well, that depends. Did you kill the toff who is interrogating me?
Which one's that?
Tall, slim, unbelievably polite, but nasty with it.
We were there out of hours, I'm afraid. I don't believe that they were there.
I'm guessing
That
you're
doesn't match
talking
the
a
description.
corporate sounding bod. We just encountered the security.
He then gives you a description of a fellow, and you recognise it as the guy who departed via air car on the previous night, or previous evening rather.
No, he flew away. He's not dead.
Bugger.
He'll probably be back
wasn't
again
there.
today. They won't like what they find when they get back, though.
No.
Sorry, Sarah,
Sorry,
what was
Sarah?
that?
We don't have long then.
No.
Want to be out of this town. Whether or not, we need to be out as well.
He seems to be gauging something.
We might not be friends exactly, but probably the most trustworthy people you're going to come across anytime soon. There's no reason not to open up to us. Trying to persuade him to just give us the information we want.
It cannot be bought only with money.
I am pretty and I have persuasion.
I want to
So
offer
he-
him some medical care of like goodwill. If he's still bruised and battered.
He is, but short of... He doesn't look to be in pain or anything like that.
Okay.
He's also surprisingly less groggy than you would expect. Whether or not that's just because you have left it to him to wake up naturally rather than using the stimulant that you had found or anything like that, or if he's just
Trained for resistance.
built that way.
You said he was not cybered, yeah?
No, not cybered, or at least there is
Not
no
diagnosis.
No exterior.
there is no exterior cyber, and Silver didn't find anything immediately subdermal in their examination. So if there is, it would what you wouldn't have been able to tell without being a bit more invasive is whether or not he has any cardiovascular or organ cyber replacements.
And I guess we have no idea if he's on any drugs still, maybe like stimulants anyway.
Without running a blood test of some kind, you wouldn't be able to tell that.
Did he have any tattoos? This is me asking Silver. Some probably I should have checked before he woke up.
No tattoos.
Then no.
I mean,
Yes, it's don't give Picard a straight answer syndrome.
to a certain extent, it's also the nature of the characters because a lot of cyberpunk comes out of noir. There is a great deal of evasiveness when it comes to dealing with people. That won't be all the case with like every character because it would get boring if that was every single character. But you've got a guy here who is in a very unfamiliar situation. Not unfamiliar, sorry. Dealing with unfamiliar persons. Let's say.
Yeah.
Albeit they are his
Unsafe.
rescuers, but rescuers can very quickly turn to further captors if they don't particularly like the answers.
Rescue apply. It sort of implies that we were there explicitly to rescue him. He, at the moment, I think Demon had it right. He's a souvenir.
It's a wonderful
might
term.
lead on to further opportunities. You know how
Oh,
those
he's
things go on
loot.
eBay. Yes.
Okay.
Loot flesh.
Whoa. That. Because that then puts me in mind of Lutefisk.
I
which
thought
is...
it might.
Well,
I said it that way
we can
with
see
intent.
we can see what he's
Yeah.
like. We just bury him in someone's garden for about 3 to 6 months, and then see what's left.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
So, sorry, did somebody ask him a question? I've forgotten.
Just the tattoo one, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you didn't see it. You didn't see any tattoos in your examination.
Okay.
Of him.
Okay.
But yeah, sorry, that's where I was. He seems to be like. He paused. It's like. I reckon I've got a couple of hours then before he comes back. What time is it?
What time is
Morning. It's like early morning. We left as the dawn was breaking.
it?
Sure.
We had the timetables for the trains earlier to get here. Presumably, we've still got those kicking around.
Oh
And
yeah,
had
yeah.
a data file with it.
Oh yeah, it's not a problem to.
Yeah. I will, in that case, scroll up when the first train is to Paris. As was.
Yeah, like so. With the if you can get back to the station that you arrived at, yeah, you'll have to go. And it looks like it will take 2 changes. There are 2 interchanges to get to Montreal, as he indicated. But yeah, all being good, should be just over 2 hours.
Okay.
Given the service as you know it, it'll probably take closer to 3.
Was there a facility to book a carriage, book private?
No, this is
Right.
public. This is public transit.
Okay. How big were the carriages? Are we talking full size, as in you would normally get here, or are we talking one open train?
No, we're talking like London Underground tube carriages.
Okay, that's not terrible. If we go in the wee small hours as we currently are and take the first one we can, there'll be possibly commuters, and otherwise it should be fairly quiet. It should be more casually travelling.
Yeah, I mean you're basically hitting morning shift changes.
Yeah.
So
if I
it
remember,
will be busier around this time.
Yeah, if I remember the 3:45 from Ramsgate, it's primarily. God, that was a train I didn't know existed. It was primarily employees of the network getting to their starting stations, and about 3 commuters who looked like they were reconsidering their life choices. So it was pretty dead quiet, and we should have the place to ourselves to carry on said conversation. We don't have to have the chat here. We can get on the move and have it maybe on the train.
Look, and this is addressed to Volt. He's looking at you when he says this. You independent, or do you work for someone?
Depends on the day.
We're independent.
Independent on retainer.
Yeah.
Retainer to who?
Does it matter?
Maybe.
Okay.
I tell you who we're on retainer currently for. You need to give us information about where you're from. Deal? Regardless of if you approve.
What's the name of our current employer?
It's the
Butterfly.
butterfly.
That was it. That explains that note. Right, okay. Don't trust the butterfly.
It's a
Can't
sharing
be
of trust.
anything.
We've already shown that you can trust us because we rescued you and we plan on taking you to where you need to go.
I'll tell you what I know of how I came to be here.
Okay.
That works for
We
starters.
work for the butterfly presently.
Well, now, that changes things.
What was his reaction?
He definitely, you definitely seem to have gone up a notch in his estimation when Volt says the butterfly. If that's the case, then I think get me home. Oh, sorry. Get me to Montreal, and then I think we can talk. Are you currently looking for work?
We've got to drop off our package first.
You're not our package, just in case you were concerned.
We've got to finish
You're-
the job before we are up for other jobs.
Not surprised.
You're
I
a
don't think
lanyard.
very many people knew I was there. So,
The delivery we need to make is the chemicals, isn't it? If we've got to make a change anyway,
The chemicals
We
and the
can-
information on the chem.
yeah.
And that is with one of the lieutenants of the butterfly.
yeah, Vander.
So we can make a stop. We can make a stop there. Do
Well,
that
you'd
handover.
you'd be expected to go back to base unless you wanted to
Yeah.
unless you want to call it in and give it to an intermediary to pass on.
Nah.
The less
Nah.
intermediaries, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You also know that your guest is not going to be. You're not going to get into the base with him, basically.
No, one of us or two of us want to stay with him at the
Coffee
train
shop at the
station.
station.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we take him on the streets as little as possible. I think is the best way to go. Then we can contain the situation.
Why not
Yep.
stay here in that hotel with him until the drop-off's been made?
Well, we're
Cover his
already
streets.
like half an hour away, and this is the same.
You're an hour and a half from Luxembourg.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're fairly close to where we just kidnapped him from. It would be better to get on a train soon.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah. Let's get him to Luxembourg then.
Okay.
Where we kidnapped him from, where we
Rescued him
unkidnapped him from.
Acquired him. Where we collected him. It's like picking shells off a beach.
So let's do that then.
Okay. I'm going to start calling him a conch.
And you can start giving us information and talking to us about things and telling us about this job that you have in mind along the way.
Right.
I prefer
I'll suss out
to
times
talk in
for the-
private. I'm not really going to talk on transit.
Fair enough.
Fair. Okay,
Well,
I'll
nothing
line up when the
important.
first train is.
Yeah, I mean the trains. I mean this being the way things are, trains run all through. Like it's a 24-hour transit system, with. Take that as you will, but
Yeah.
in
Take
theory,
24 hours to get anywhere.
well, I mean, it will take a good 12 to 16 hours if you wanted to cross New Europe.
I may be being a little paranoid here, but when we're out and about from here, I wouldn't wear that jacket. Is it distinctive? Because we got the impression.
No. It's military twill in like it's military style. Like it's not like it denotes a military unit.
Right.
It's it's like somebody going around with a camo jacket.
Okay.
But this is definitely better made. Like it would, unless somebody was looking up closely, they wouldn't necessarily pick this out as different from anything that might be worn camo wise, or military
Okay.
camo. That's fashion wear. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, that's fair.
And it doesn't look like his posture and such doesn't look like you're getting it off him.
Oh well, we'd just have to tase him and nick it, but that's rude and probably wouldn't get us a job. So
Well, could be like family wear, like shared last name, or friends that.
So yeah. So you're gonna head to the station then?
yeah.
Okay. As you're standing up, getting ready to, he offers his hand to each of you. Well, name's Rigel. And who might I be dealing with?
I'm Vault.
He looks around at the rest of the group.
I won't specifically shake his hand, but will introduce myself as Korax.
I will introduce myself as Demon or Lilith if you prefer.
I'll just nod and say Silver.
That's just your pay rate, though.
Well then, shall we go?
Excellent
Yes.
idea. Okay, this is going to be interesting. We're going to have to be observant and cautious without looking like we're being observant and cautious.
Well,
So every day.
So you proceed. Are you taking any particular precautions as you proceed to the station?
By the way, I'm assuming that we retrieved the drone
Yes. Yeah.
from the roof. Okay, that's all right then.
You have all the equipment that you came with.
Could let the drone fly cover for us at height.
That would require someone controlling it.
Yeah, that's fine. I can do
I
that.
have a bird.
It's true. And the bird
We've actually
is the
got
word.
2 birds in the party, so
Which can give us enough observational cover without distracting us while we're looking at the drone screen.
Okay.
Very well. So you're going to have Ash and I can't remember what the name of your bird is. Night.
I have it written down somewhere. My memory is absolutely bobbins.
Did I write it down?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember. And
No,
for some reason, it's not on my
I
character
thought
I have it here.
Oh.
It,
it's a cool name.
sheet. It's so cool, none of us can remember it.
I remember if I had it written down.
That's stupid.
I mean-
it was on my character sheet.
In your defense, I kept forgetting Ash's name last game, so.
Alba, that's it.
That's it, Alba. Thank you.
You had it written
I
down somewhere.
keep
yes.
thinking that that's short for albatross.
So yeah, okay. If you're going to have Ash and Alba run, fly, reconnaissance, yeah,
It's probably a typical thing for them to do for us.
yeah, not a problem.
Yep.
Also, fairly telling how people you meet on the street very rarely look up. And yeah, so you head out into the ever dark and dull streets of New Europe, making your way to the station, Charlet Station, for this district. Because I suddenly remembered what district you're in. Yeah, you get back on. It's so you said you're heading back to Luxembourg.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah,
deliver
we'll
the
make a goal.
chemicals and the information on the chemicals, as well as
Okay.
telling them that the job is complete and collecting our fee.
Okay. So, 10 neck each for the train ride to back to Luxembourg.
Mm-hmm.
You get back to the station at Luxembourg. On the journey.
There's a Freudian slip.
Sorry.
Luxembourg.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes. Blame that on my list.
Yep.
What was I going to say? Yeah, Rigel is like pretty taciturn. Like he will, unless you're asking him anything specifically, like he will evade any questions about like where he's from, like anything like mission related. Just saying when we're safe.
Is London? What are these cities called now?
London Edge.
Is London Edge still in existence?
As far as we know.
No, I was asking.
Week.
I was asking Rigel specifically because we haven't heard from any city forever.
Oh yeah, like
prior to our lifetimes, I'm assuming.
Yes. How old are folk? Silver, you said was 42.
Yeah.
How old are the others? Most of you are in your 20s, aren't you?
Yeah, 27.
Yeah, I'm 20.
Late,
I'm 29.
Late 20s. I don't think that's specified, but late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah. So, contact with other cities was lost 42 years ago. In 2077.
Right.
So yeah, like before any of your recollections, the only information you have is that there was a city called London Edge, that you have got from, media and such, and the odd sort of like soap opera that likes to posit the continued existence of the other cities or the other
And it has
metropolises.
that awful accent.
Which is primarily where you see there's basically the New Europe version of EastEnders, but reproduced with actors of British descent who were in New Europe.
That almost sounds like El Dorado.
Yes, it's basically El Dorado, but for the current media consumption.
Hey, the bot just notified me that we're live.
That's good to know.
Way to go, bot.
Hooray!
Love it.
So, in response to your question, he just smirks.
That's helpful.
I think I want to go a different tact with him and just try to ease him into like normal conversation that could be telling. So saying like, "Do you feel particularly homesick? Is this as far as you've ever been away from your home? It's difficult, isn't it?"
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
Because Silver is also fairly new to the Lipton Sprawl.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants to connect on that level with Rigel if he can.
Okay. Rigel is still evasive, but he is open to generalizations. he mostly refers to missing his team.
Okay.
What you mostly get is that he is concerned about the whereabouts, or he's concerned about the people he was with, more so necessarily than home.
Yeah.
And
Were
you
you
get
picked up here?
you get the feeling that he is distinctly worried about people.
So your team will have gone home then, or at least to your contact.
Or that his team is dead or also captured by some other element here.
Well, get me back to Montreal and we'll find out. All the answers should be there.
So they were taken here, or you were taken here rather, and then they fled back. Yes.
Yeah, north of Paris,
Right.
I think.
Actual
It's
information.
fuzzy.
That's understandable.
You were on quite a few drugs and had your brain scrambled with those lights a little bit. Not sure how useful those lights are, but...
So, and while you're traveling, he is definitely relaxed enough to act like other people around, but you can still also tell that he is aware. He is alert.
Oh, like the rest of us.
He definitely has, merc bearing, as you are very familiar with. Okay, so you get back to Luxem Sprawl. Are you all heading towards the base, or are some of you staying
I think
here? Or
a couple of us stay with Rigel, find a coffee shop in the station,
Yep.
or as close to the station as possible.
I'm not going to
And
stay with Rigel.
yeah, leave him not wandering around the streets with us.
I want to stay with Rigel just in case. I'm still worried that there might be some after effects of whatever they were doing to him.
Okay.
So I want to stay there and observe as much as I can.
Okay, so Corax and Silver are going to stay with Rigel. Volt and Demon will head back to the base.
Yep. I'll bring Muffin with me. Just pat my thigh and have her follow.
Okay.
You're going to need a lead at some point.
Are leads a thing in this day and age? Are they necessary? I'm a feral.
They are, but they are also very rarely used from what you have seen.
I'm just thinking in terms of in case somebody who trained her decides to try and interrupt your personal command over the animal.
I'm thinking we might have killed the one that trained you.
No,
But
I think we killed the handler. I think we killed the handler, but I don't know we killed the trainer.
We'll trim her up. She'll be looking different after grooming.
Mm-hmm.
We can't have a dog walking around recognizable.
So you're going to clip her?
Yeah, like a poodle.
I now have an image of a poodle cut great German Shepherd. Thank you for that.
Oh, no,
You're welcome.
Complete with pink dyed hair.
That's exactly what I was thinking, that you were going to dye pink.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of a mix of teal, a bright teal and a bright pink.
Mm-hmm.
Then no one would expect her to be a guard dog.
God. But what about the self-respect of the poor animal? She's there trying to look hard as nails, and she looks like she's going to a party with unicorns.
There are cybernetics that'll do that job,
I'm not. No, we're not cybering up the dog.
Oh, come on. Dog tech hair is just going to be so much more sensible.
How about you just buy yourself a robot dog instead, and they can be friends?
Robots don't need friends.
Exactly.
I'm not quite sure.
Let's not mistreat the animals, okay?
Yeah. But no, I mean, a dog that's able to produce its own camo patterns, that would be sensible. It's just rational thinking. So would you have to skin them first and then replace the whole dermis, or do you just reimplant with
I'm walking off
artificial
with
hair?
Muffin in tow to go deliver the news.
Okay, I will follow. Since I've got most of the data.
Sure. So you head to the rundown kind of mall where you have your entrance to your gang's part of the Luxem Sprawl Undercity.
On the way, I'm going to double check with Lilith, Demon, that you've separated it out. The only information that we're giving them is the chemical compound information for the concrete stuff, correct? Because the rest of it's ours. They didn't ask for any of that extra information, so we don't need to share it.
They didn't necessarily ask for information.
Yep.
You were asked to disrupt operations. So.
Yeah, this is as much as anything evidence that we have disrupted the operation.
Yeah.
If they actually want the information in more detail than an obscured screenshot, then they're going to have to pay.
Yes.
Also, Shard, remember in Rulon's office, you found the data chip which has the unlock code for the boxes that the chemicals are stored in, as well as the tech data. So you have that on a separate physical item.
Oh, okay, cool.
You don't.
We did want to actually keep some of the chemical for ourselves, didn't we?
Well, now
I think
We
we were
discussed it, but I
speculating
don't
on it.
think
Yes.
we'd actually decided.
you haven't
Yeah.
you haven't split any off. If you are going to.
No.
Nah. I can't see a use for it yet. We can ask for it later if we need it.
Okay.
Well, we know where it is, and it's for a person that we typically work for, and technically any job that they give us, and we know they have a tool that we can use.
So yes, you head into the mall, go to the disused video shop that marks the gang entrance. Nod to Pox, who is on guard there again, and head down into the undersprawl.
Yeah.
You make your way back to the
this
base,
quickly.
and yeah, you let yourself in. There's a gang member near the door who nods, raises an eyebrow at Muffin. New pet.
Souvenir.
Yeah. You want to give her a pet?
He wanders over and gently strokes Muffin's head.
She's a good girl. Well behaved, well trained. It was a nice acquisition.
He looks her over. Huh. Will probably fetch a pretty penny.
I haven't decided yet.
Cutlets.
Cutlets. Oh wow. Oh god.
Well, if you are going to sell, let me know.
All right. I'll consider it.
Okay.
What do I know about him and his treatment of animals in general? How has he treated our two birds when they're with us?
Perfectly fine. Like his attitude towards them has always been, neutral to friendly.
Okay.
Like he sometimes if he's got any like spare rations, he might throw a piece to the birds.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, you proceed onwards. Have you let Vander know that you're returning?
Yes. I will call ahead.
Okay. So he's waiting for you in the same meeting room that you met him in previously.
Mm-hmm.
Well, The Wanderer's Return. How went the job?
I'd say it went pretty good.
You all made it back safe? He asks,
Yes, we did.
noting that there are only two of you here.
No damage.
No, the others are just taking a break. It was things...
We had a late night.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Right. So, I guess down to business then. He pulls out a data pad and starts tapping at it. So, you disrupted their operations, did you? Like we asked?
Yes.
How
Yes.
long do you reckon they'll be out? That office will be out of commission for?
Oh, at least a week, if not 2 or more.
Based on how much I screwed up their records and scheduling,
Mm-hmm.
and I think also nuked their
Server, yeah.
their server and their backups.
Mm-hmm.
At least I tried to do up
And
their backups.
basically-
How long do I think it would take to do an off-site restore of that data?
Not to mention hiring new security that is better trained and upgrading their security.
Yeah, to be fair, security guards are like cheap,
Oh yeah,
because people need work.
Well,
They can stick any.
I
wrench
meant
in
like
their
the
suit.
cameras and the times and upgrading procedures.
Yeah.
Yeah, you reckon that if they bring in a security team or consultant to look at what you have done, they could probably get back up and running within a week. But you reckon that would be expensive because of
If
what
they're
you
willing,
because of what you
if
did
they're
to their
willing to drop the
servers.
necks, then they can get back in a week. Otherwise, they're going to be tripping over little missed files and broken links for quite a while.
Also, they're not going to be
all
able.
their staff are going to be coming in at 2:00 in the morning.
Also, they're not going to be able to locate unless they go back to their original source. I pull out the card with the information on it, the information on the chemicals, and the box of chemicals.
Huh.
Yeah, we got that too.
Are you going to tell him in any form of detail what it is that you did to disrupt them?
I will describe that I gained access to their administration records and outline without going into detail. You want detail, you pay me for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fairly standard practice.
But yeah, I will outline in general detail, general forms as to what I did, how long I think it would take to repair, and how widespread the damage was.
Okay.
There was also physical damage done to the building itself.
There was also some small amounts of physical damage to the building. They're down a drone and a charging station. What can I say?
Any casualties or deaths?
3
Casualties or deaths?
deaths.
Okay. Anyone get out?
There was one security guard that didn't get a chance to see our faces.
Except she saw the film.
Is that what you are saying?
I don't know. Is that what I would say?
I mean, up to you. Like, if that is what you are saying, that is a deceit check because you know that is not true.
That's true. There was one security guard that cooperated quite effectively and decided to run from her own company because she is a bad security guard, so we let her go.
I can't pull up an image from my internal memory, can I, as to the security guard's face? Because I saw it.
Yeah.
you don't have a It's only your image. You don't have a digital image.
Okay.
Actually, that's not true because you've got security cam footage.
Yeah.
So yes, you can pull a digital image of Rochelle if you wish.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll chuck them that as a bone. Rochelle, I think, was looking for a new career as she left.
He looks a little concerned. Your assessment on threat of this loose end.
Fairly low.
Not my choice.
He nods.
Literally, I did consider putting a bullet in her head after everyone else had gone, but I thought they would probably get quite annoyed, and it would have made more mess.
4 bodies is no different. Is not really different from 3, but fair enough.
It'll be the one time I don't clean up after myself.
Well then, we'll just have to. You'll just have to keep an eye out then. Hopefully, there won't be any repercussions from that.
If she can be located, then this, of course, will serve as blackmail material to hold over her for any future roles she takes, because exposing her to her previous employers would be a good way of keeping her under the thumb. Might become quite valuable.
Well then, should she become problematic, I will expect you to take care of her in whatever way you deem fit, so long as it doesn't come back to us.
Oh, don't worry. Nobody would ever find her.
Good. Well then, and he wanders over to the boxes that you purloined. You've given him the chip, did you say? Or you put it on the table?
Mm-hmm.
He takes a chip, fiddles a little with it, and then taps it to the boxes. You see beep, 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 and they unlock, and he looks inside. Cool. Shuts the boxes and pockets the data chip or the access chip. Well then,
It's both.
that's all gone very well then. Mission completed as requested, and he taps a few things on his pad. Right. Question for you. Do you have individual accounts for being paid from operations like this, or do you have a central pool that you then, the 4 of you, then draw from?
I think that Demon has her own. I don't know what anyone else does.
Yeah,
But
I'm
Demon
thinking
definitely
individual
has her own.
accounts.
Everyone has their own, instead of having a pool to split afterwards.
Okay. In which case, how much did I say you were getting for all of this?
It was 500 for them. Was it 500 each? Let me look. I think it was.
Yeah, so 500 each for stopping operations. Yep, you get that.
Yep. And then 100 each for
100
the
each
chemicals.
for the thing. So yes, you are each 600 neck better off. Silver and Corax, if you have any alerts on your device, if you have a device that is set up for alerts for when you get paid, you receive notification that has been done using the secure transfer network that the gang has. Well then,
Do you have any means of spoofing or removing credit from personal credit chips or temporary credit chips so that they're not traceable? I don't really want to use them, but I did take them.
extra credit, as it were.
Sure.
Ouch.
Maxie, she's your gal.
Awesome.
I don't think she's around at the moment.
Okay.
He looks again at the thing. No, she's out. But yeah, if you no one better on base to scrub chips like that.
Awesome. All right. Well, once we're back next time, hopefully she's around and I'll get those chips scrubbed and then we'll split whatever's in there.
So,
I like to keep my friends happy with money.
you all free now, or
We might actually have a job lined up. Might be a side thing.
well,
We need a couple of days. After that, we're back on the books. If you
Sure.
need us,
well,
probably.
buzz me when you're free, because there's always I've got something in mind that you four can do for me.
Okay.
All right. All right. Let's head off then.
Okay. You head back to the pub next to the station, where you have left Rigel, Silver, and Corax.
And it's a smoking crater.
Now, would I do that to you?
No, but PCs left to their own devices in the pub. Come on, they'll be stacking the bodies 3 feet high.
Also, Knight almost did that to us yesterday if we didn't leave the building.
So far be it from me to be so cliched. However, I think that is actually a good point for us to take a break in proceedings, and go and refresh ourselves, top up our drinks, take your meds if necessary, grab yourself a snack, recycle fluids. So we will be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. Do get up and stretch if you want to, and we will see you all back then. Take care, everyone.
Okay.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Go. Hello and welcome back to session 4 of Took a Midnight Train, a Gaia complex game. I am your host, Anil, aka Chrono Magistrate, and I have Drottercup, Seragil, Nightbite, and Shard Angel investigating a potential mystery and or new job, having just finished up their previous one. Shard, you said you wished to do something just prior to leaving the base?
Yeah, I want to make a stop in my room before we head back to the coffee shop,
Mm-hmm.
and change into street clothes so I'd stand out a little bit less
Okay.
because we're not going as, ourselves so much. Still going to have my cane, but I will look more appropriate for being on a train and being on the street, especially since we're going to Paris.
Yes, Paris. I keep wanting to call everything sprawled. No, it's Paris Zone.
That's all right. I want to call it Paris Block, which we're going just pure dread there.
Paris Block Party. Duh, duh.
Yes.
So you and Demon and Volt are making their way back to the pub next to the station where Silver, Corax, and Rigel are stashed. Silver and Corax, do you wish to do anything while your teammates are away?
Other than keep our friend engaged in polite conversation, keep his attention away from the possibility of just outright legging it.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Okay.
not for me.
If anything, he does seem to be calmer. Like, he has relaxed a little bit around you two. He's still on alert, but it is not directed so much towards you anymore.
Cool.
And
Winning his trust.
during this time,
Hearts and minds.
Night,
Yes.
you get a message on your communication device.
Ooh.
It is from one of your contacts, a feral contact by the name of Vanessa. And it just says, "Call me."
Okay. That's interesting. Not a call I'm going to make in current company, so we'll wait until the others are back before I.
Sure. I mean, you could
Take
always
that
step.
out to make
You could
a-
always step away if you wanted to.
I could,
or-
but I don't want to leave
Yep.
just Silver and our friend.
Not
just
a problem.
in case he decides to
Yeah.
have a sudden random memory from the past turn him into a raging psychopath.
Fair. Okay. So yeah, the time otherwise passes uneventfully. Yeah. And you see Volt and Demon make their way into the pub.
On the way, I'm going to hand Demon some kibble to offer to Muffin.
Oh, so you're
So,
bringing Muffin with you and not leaving her at the base. I should have asked.
Yes.
Before. Yeah. Okay.
Muffin the drug mule. No, wait, hang on. Okay, when we get actually stopped, then I will start feeding kibble to Muffin in a trust me.
I wish you hadn't said that because now I'm picturing the Disney Robin Hood with
Yep.
Car going, "Trust in me."
Yeah, it's halfway between the jungle because he was in both Jungle Book and
Yeah.
Robin Hood. So that is exactly what I was going for. So
Okay,
I'm quite glad about that.
Good. We're on the same wavelength.
Yes.
For good or for ill.
Yes.
I knew what Demon wanted out of it. I'm giving her a shot.
So you make your way to the table where your friends are, your colleagues are.
Co-workers, people I met.
Yes, colleagues.
Yeah.
So, the five of you are sorry, six of you, five of you are together.
Plus assorted
Six,
feathered animals.
8, like
No, that was me looking at the number of VC windows and counting myself as a player. So, what to next?
Well, now that everyone's back, if you'll excuse me, I need to go and make a call. I'll be back as soon as I can, and I will
Alright.
step away.
Okay.
And once alone, I will give Vanessa a call.
Okay. Are you stepping outside or just into like a back corridor or something like that?
Into a quiet corner.
Okay, sure. It rings for a couple, and then it picks up. Corax.
You wanted me to call you?
Yeah, I don't want to say too much now, but you know what? You know what you were looking for.
Yes.
I think I've got a lead.
Wonderful. Hold on to it. Keep quiet. I'm going to be out of town for a couple of days. I'll be back in touch as soon as I'm back, and we'll pick it up.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, just message me with your back, and we can meet.
Of course. Thank you. I really appreciate this.
Sure. And then she abruptly ends the call.
And I shall head back to rejoin my erstwhile co-workers.
Okay. Ooh. Can I just check, is stream coming through okay for folks? Because OBS was telling me I had some drop frames there.
OBS did that to me the other day.
hope
Seemed okay.
It's coming through. Yeah, it seems to be back and stable now. But
Hmm.
yeah, I just saw it flashing red there for a moment. Anyhow,
Looks like I'm on the screen.
okay, good. So all of you, or five of you, are back at the table, with Corax having returned. What next?
times for trains and connections
Yeah.
to get to Paris Zone.
Okay.
Yeah. Gonna plan out the ideal fastest time
Mm-hmm.
and also alternate connections should we need to try and lose somebody or if we can't make the closest cutting.
Okay. You are able to do that without too much problems. You are used to having a plan and a backup plan and a backup plan for your routing.
And radically, I will actually share this information with the rest of the group. So they know if we get separated, they know which trains we're aiming for. And meeting point at each connection should it go pear-shaped.
Okay.
Okay.
You work out your contingencies and head to the station.
Yep.
You board, and you're following your primary route. You make it through the first interchange without a problem. Train was delayed by about 10 minutes, but these things are to be expected. You head further into you head further towards Paris. Stop again. This time at your second interchange, there is a longer wait. There are indications of a faulty train on the line. The previous one seems to have broken down and is being replaced at the service. But
is there an area where we can take our animals to go to the bathroom?
You're at a station, so you can head back above ground.
Yeah.
To
I'm gonna go. Since we've got a long way, I'm gonna take Muffin above ground and find a place where she can do her business.
Yep, that's not a problem. In the lee of some building or another, you are you let Muffin do her business,
Mm-hmm.
and return. There's
Who's on command?
the station is the station is
She's a trained guard dog. I'm pretty sure she can do it on command.
the station is pretty busy. You are crowded by various grumbling commuters, factory workers, and such. And oh, I gave you the wrong name. You are not heading to Montreal. That was a different station. You are heading for the district of Moux. Sorry. Which is, I say, edge of Paris zone. You're about 45k from central Paris, or what counts as central Paris. So yes, and like what you know of the area, Demon, you'll be more familiar with at least the western side of New Europe, given your family connections. You know this area mostly as food processing districts. Ration factories, aeroponic warehouses, distribution centers. Most of what is the northern or the northwestern parts of New Europe will be supplied out of northeast Paris zone. Obviously, there's no greenery, no green fields or anything like that. Anything that restaurants and such will call upon is grown in warehouses. Some hydroponics, but obviously with water supplies being as they are, mostly aeroponics. That technology has been advanced significantly in the last 20-30 years. But yes, still most people subsisting on varieties of what is in cyberpunk known as kibble. It's slightly better fare or more recognizable as food in Gaia Complex, but probably not much more appetizing, to be fair. And yeah, crowded train carriages aside, you end up in Moux without too much difficulty.
Nobody's tried to kill us yet. This is fine.
No, the most you had to deal with is some pushing and shoving as people tried to board the train.
And that's what tasers are invented for. Oh, come on. Who hasn't taken the Northern Line and just wished?
Yeah, true.
Fair point.
Correct. Alba's size and disposition is probably getting you a bit more of a wider space than you would normally be afforded. You also notice that she is they are getting a bit agitated with all the crowds, and you see like the head lunges a little bit occasionally.
Walk tall and carry a big owl.
Yes, indeed. And as I say, you get to Moux without much in the way of difficulty. I have not. Hang on, I'm just trying to remember which.
Barbara Woodhouse.
Yes. Oh, yes, that. For some reason, I got that. I was just having a mental conflation with Barbara Windsor.
No, that's a very different take.
Yes,
Barbara Woodhouse was
yes,
sort of
the animal
more Mary Whitehouse in my
expert.
head.
Yeah.
No, Barbara Woodhouse was terrifying. The dogs took one look at her and went, "Yeah, I can do what you do." Okay, you're scary.
So, you emerge from Moke's station into the ever grey light that passes down here in the industrial districts. Outside the station, you can see an attempt at a plaza of some kind has been made. This is mostly has been done by clearing a vaguely open space that leads towards a plexiglass box at the northern end of square, which looks like it's got the remains of some kind of statue in it, weirdly preserved, and next to it a grandiose building, or a building that was obviously more grandiose in the past, but you can see various robotic figures moving in and out, and you surmise that this is the local law enforcement depot, station, whatever you wish to call it. So
Place to be avoided.
pretty much. All is calm, muttered, grey, neutral. Unlike when you got out at Chalet, there is very little in the way of antisocial behaviour going on here. And
Well, that's no fun.
you can basically see that people are not loitering. They're disembarking and moving on fairly quickly. Rigel looks around as if he's getting his bearings, and then takes you down some side streets away from the law enforcement office, down a couple more. He's sticking very close to you. He obviously feels not. Actually, no. Scrub that. I was going to say something that doesn't apply here. And you pass various shops and outlets, including you see a small Vectron Biomed supply center, and you can see the lights in its windows are highlighting glistening packs of red fluid with bright stickers saying special offer and O negative 10% off.
Rigel, are you perchance involved with vampires?
He looks around and just gives a nod.
See.
Oh, good.
I trust that isn't going to be a problem.
Further question: are you a vampire?
No.
Just curious.
He doesn't look offended or anything by the question. And Seragil, you would have noticed if he were a vampire. But yeah, like that being said, you are well aware of supply centres like this in every district. I mean, you will have met vampires, at least executive vampires, or those who work for corporations around such. Fewer in Luxem Sprawl, to be honest. But they are. You will have encountered them, and unless you are or from a family which were pro-human, which given that two of you are ferals, I'm doubting that Demon and Silver,
If nothing else,
are pro-human in that respect.
Yeah. If nothing else, Demon's family has dealings with some of the vampire ruling classes in their sphere of influence, shall we say?
Yep.
Where she's come from.
So yeah, you your family probably knows some, at least, of the regional Vectron execs or unset execs for
Yeah.
their area.
Honestly, I'm not sure that it would really phase me or Corvax because we're both poisonous to them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes, ferals are toxic. Go
Um,
figure.
up to you if you've had like particularly positive or negative dealings with like outside of Vril. So you you see a supply depot, and honestly, like 2 doors down from like sharing the same block is a Tactomed clinic as well. So you know, medical stuff seems to be positioned close together, and that's often the case in many districts. And then he heads down the street, turns a corner, and raps out a knock that you presume is coded in some way on an otherwise inconspicuous and innocuous looking door.
I'm going to try and memorize that pattern.
Beat me to it.
Let's have a look and see if that's going to require a roll. What would be something to try and memorize?
Brains, I'm guessing.
Brains, yeah.
I mean,
Perception to notice it, but
yeah, perception would be to notice it, but memorization would probably be a brains roll.
yeah.
Actually, no,
no.
I'm not memorizing it. I'm recording it.
True.
I forgot.
That is a technological way of memorizing.
Mm-hmm.
Is actually, I have a feeling I can probably do the same with my neural frame.
Okay, in which case, this is actually going to be a surveillance check.
Okay.
So that works off perception.
8.
What are your perceptions?
6.
6
8.
and 8. Okay, do both of you have the surveillance skill or not?
I do.
I specialize in the surveillance skill.
Okay. In which case, this isn't a problem for Vault. Demon, I am going to ask for a surveillance check then, please, for you to do so.
Okay, that is a 1 and a 6.
That is a 1 and 6.
So, yeah.
That is a double pass. You successfully are able to. You wonder why it's awkward. Both of you find it a bit difficult to record. And then you both notice, kind of simultaneously, that there is a subsonic scrambler attached to, like, quite distinctly concealed on a brick near the doorway.
I see.
Presumably for just such an occasion. But you are technologically adept enough, both of you, to have circumvented its effects.
Yeah.
You have no power over us.
Just compensate for the game. Right.
Right. After a few moments, like a hatch slides back in the doorway, and there is a muttered conversation.
I'm going to try and record muttered conversation.
You can. It's done very low, but it depends. I mean, a lot depends on how close to Rigel you are standing.
I mean,
I'm
as
just going to
close as
attempt to
he'll let
read
us.
body language.
Yeah, like it's wary but open. In terms of that, and you you basically get Rigel's side of things, and it sounds like he's vouching for you. There was a little bit of surprise. It's like, yeah, it's me. I made it back.
Weirdly enough.
I need to talk to Seb. Yeah, with me. They're good. Fine. Yeah, sure. And then the hatch closes. There's another minute or two. And then the door opens a fraction. Rigel turns to you and... right. I vouch for you. Don't do anything stupid, please.
No, that's not really our thing,
Seb
unless
will
we're
see
paid
us.
to do it.
And he pushes open the door and kind of like holds it open for you to come in.
I shall
Yeah.
go through. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Same.
Okay.
just casually stroll in.
You head in. There is a short, bare corridor. Two
Yeah, was anyone else reading the
B-
wrong kind of bear there?
BARE.
Yeah, me too. I'm sorry. I was like a short bear of a person.
Or, given ferals are around, a short bear
Oh yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
bimbling
Yeah.
around. We have options. Sorry.
And you are shown into, or rather not shown into, you can see a staircase going up, and there are two doors coming off the corridor that you are on. He knocks on the first door and opens it, and if you follow him in, you step into it's difficult. You've never been in a room quite like this, but those of you who are soap opera fans, if any, will recognize the decor as kind of like turn of the century style, and we're talking turn of the 22nd century.
Okay.
So decor that is, what are we talking about? 20, actually maybe a bit earlier than that. So it's about 30 years out of fashion. And what is often described as retro in dramas. It's a lounge stroke parlor of sorts. You can see that there are some slightly threadbare couches on against each wall. Again, a slightly faded threadbare carpet adorns the floor. Everything is polymer, but with a faux wood resin.
Okay.
When you say retro, I didn't realize we were going all the way back to the 70s.
I mean, yeah, the 2270, sorry, the 2070s, yeah. So yeah, like we're talking like pre cut off from the rest of the metropolises,
Sure.
and there is a table in the center of the room. Bit like an old fashioned dining table, with some mismatched chairs, enough for all of you to sit. And at the head of the table is a figure in a well-cut, but again dated suit. You notice his bright red hair and glasses. Seragil, given have you had much experience with vampires and vampire physiology in your career?
Bits and pieces.
Okay.
Oh,
was that on purpose?
It actually wasn't. But cyberdocs are just by nature very underground since it is an illegal practice.
Yeah.
So I think you would have that kind of experience with more underhanded doings within the vampire world.
Sure. You've probably you at least have a basic awareness of vampire physiology. So you would also know. So what you would reckon is that the glasses are the spectacles are an affectation. If this is your first encounter with a vampire, this is a vril. Although it's difficult to say, first up close experience with a vampire, because as I say, you will all be aware of them and have encountered them in society. He's not quite as composed.
Oh, hold on.
He's not quite as composed as the executive vril that you have met out and about in society, but he is not as feral as the news has depicted or has shown outside of vril to be. For the benefit of chat, vampires in the Gaia complex come in two flavors: vril and gnawl. Gnawl are very much your twisted, warped, hellish view of what a vampire abomination would be. They are very distinctly non-human. Many of them have affectations and dress in a way that plays up their outsiderness, and they are feared. There are very few gnawl that are at least of note in the media, but basically whenever they are talked about, they are mentioned with dread. The only one who isn't, but even still has a fearsome reputation, is a gnawl by the name of Tor, who is one of the corporate leaders of Unset Corporation, the vampire-led investment company. Make of that what you will.
Mm-hmm. I love that that's a thing. We've got vampire investors.
Yep. I mean, if the rumors are true, Unset Corp controls about 30% of the property in New Europe. Particularly stuff around the outskirts of the metropolis, but also prime holdings within. They are often seen, particularly if you are not super rich, as a more welcoming set of investment arms than Trill Investments. So that is Null. Vril are more human-like. They are generally and are about, well, numbers are difficult, but from at least out of character from the book, they comprise about 70-80% of the vampire population.
I did just drop a picture of the Gnoll in Discord if viewers wanted to have a look. Because they are really something.
They really
And
are.
Yeah.
they are each individuals too.
Yes,
Like
Yeah.
it's difficult to you can't say that one Gnoll
Yeah.
your expectations or interactions with one Gnoll is going to be the same as another.
No. They're a lot like the Thing beasts, to be honest.
Yeah.
Definitely Rob Bottin designed them.
Yeah, Vril are much more able to integrate with human and feral society. Although
If that's your baseline, to be honest, anything has more chance to integrate with human society.
True. Obviously, vampires and ferals tend to keep their distance, as has been mentioned. Vampires can't feed on ferals. Their blood is toxic to a vampire.
they can still kill us. They
Yeah.
just can't.
Yeah.
They just
just
won't.
Can't feed off us.
Yeah, and you can't be turned either, which is another bonus to being a feral. However, yes. So in terms of like pallor of
River.
skin, slightly sunken eyes, the slightly elongated incisors and canines. This figure it seems to be like evincing more of that, all of that, and as he stands up to greet you, he introduces himself as Sebastian Ravel. Pleased to make your acquaintance, and he has a cultured voice that has a rough undertone to it, and he stands around 5'8", 5'9", and as you look at him and like cast your eyes down his suit, you do actually notice that a good 4 or 5 inches of that is made up of the stiletto heels he is wearing.
Nice.
I respect the fashion choices.
Yeah. He steps around the table and gives an inclined bow to you.
I'll bow back.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get his voice right.
No.
Rigel, it is good to see you alive. And you have brought some friends. Please, may I know your names?
Correct.
So tempted to say no.
You can call me Vault.
Silver.
Demon.
Thank you. I do not know how much Rigel has told you about us or me, but
He's very discreet. We'd love to hear more.
understandable. Well, I think it is safe to say that if he has brought you here and is willing to vouch for you, then you must be at least persons who have made an impression on him. Rigel cuts in.
Don't be sarky. Don't be
Rigel cuts in.
sarky.
What about the others? Sebastian's face falls a little at this. Sorry, I just need... Safe is fine. Arabella it's touch and go. They took Orion. We have no idea where he is. Rigel slumps into a chair at this news. But Scythe and Bella are fine, right? For the most part, they are safe. And Sebastian turns to the rest of you. But forgive me, where are my manners? Would any of you care for some refreshments?
Absolutely.
Certainly.
So they're named after stars, his team. Fair enough.
You wouldn't happen to have anything good for a dog, would you?
I have water.
That works.
We can provide a bowl. And he then says, if you will give me a few moments, I will see to the refreshments. I believe Rigel may have more for you. And he steps out of the room through the same door. You think the heels clicking on the stone when they emerge from the carpet.
Oh, that's just showing off.
Rigel is like head in hands on the table, and you can kind of like hear him like muttering to himself.
Not the homecoming you were expecting, huh?
Well, 2 out of 3 still being alive is probably better than I was expecting.
But it's
So
the
what
wrong
were
two.
you doing? What put you on their radar?
And whose radar at that?
That was my follow-up.
Oh, actually, I forgot to give you all notice something. One thing you all noticed on Sebastian's suit is on the lapels of his jacket. There was a symbol picked out in red. Not sure if it's red thread or like dye or something like that, of a triangle, not quite equilateral, but slightly more pointed, with a stylized blood drop within. Both of these are outlined, not filled in.
Does that ring any bells in terms of vampiric faction?
Well, now, do any of you have Streetwise?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What Streetwise is based on?
Guts.
Guts.
Mine's 7.
7, 6,
Mine's 95.
8.
8. This will require
I've
a
got a
roll.
flash.
Do all 4 of you have Streetwise?
Oh, okay.
Cool. In which case, all of you are going to require a roll.
Okay. Double 1.
4 and 6, so I got 1 success.
Okay.
I've got a
I got
5
one.
and a 12.
Oh, my blood drop dice as well.
What did you say your guts was?
Guts is 6.
Okay, so that's still a success,
Cool.
despite the 12.
I never remember if it cancels or
No,
not in this
no.
one.
If you have the skill, then
Cool.
it still counts as a success. And Shard?
Yeah.
I rolled a 1.
Okay.
And a 10, but I rolled a 1.
So,
I'm treasuring that double 1 now. That's it. I'm not rolling you for the rest of the session.
you all
Sit there.
you all have had enough like anecdotal or dealings, anecdotal information from your time as Mercs and Heim on the street, to recognize the symbol as a vampire gang that is based in the northwest of New Europe. They tend to frequent the sort of like the northern and the parts of New Europe that are closest to the English Channel and Atlantic Ocean. I mean, obviously, the wall is quite a way back from the coast. If anyone actually knows where the coast is anymore, known as the blood of the earth.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay, that's not ominous at all. That's absolutely fine.
Demon, with your double one, I'm going to say
Yo.
that you also have heard the nickname Hematites from them. Of them.
Mhm.
I don't know. I like the sound of Blood of the Earth. Seems like a very homey group of vampires. Dedicated to the planet.
Yeah, so does Gaia.
That's a machine. No one trusts that.
And yet,
And yet,
you trust the apex predators.
I am one of them.
And yet you trust the atmospheric processors to keep your air at least vaguely breathable.
I have a gas mask on me because I don't trust them to do it properly all the time.
I don't trust it. I trust my ability to hack the local processes fast enough to reactivate them under my own control.
Ah, fair.
For a very reasonable weekly fee.
He breathes heavily.
Show off.
Look, as to how I got captured, me and my team got ambushed. I don't know exactly where. Somewhere north of Paris. We went in expecting a deal. I don't know how many Seb lost, but Saf, Bella, Orion, and me, we were the leads. Something obviously went wrong. All I remember is a bright flash of light, and then my head hurt. Everything hurt, and I blacked out.
That would be the concussion grenade.
Oh, is that what it was?
Most likely.
That's heavy tech.
What were you after?
That's not for me to say.
Oh, understandable.
I'm mostly the muscle, as you might have guessed. Orion's the leader. Orion was in charge of all of this. He's the one who brought us over.
I do recall something from whatever the vampire's name is, Sebastian.
Yeah,
No.
Sebastian, yeah.
Sebastian. Real quick, you have a friend that did survive what is basically a touch and go critical condition because they had their metal removed.
I don't know what Bella's condition actually is. I mean, this is the first I've heard.
Okay.
But if Seb says that they're alive, then at least that's something.
Well,
So
we do
what,
have our own resident doc here.
So they've got.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
I
my
think
install kit with me.
For
But
pressure.
if Orion is missing, if he's still alive, that's going to be critical.
so. Has he been captured by the same people who were holding you? And if so, where are they holding him? I assume him.
I don't even know who is holding who got me. As I said, all I've got is the description of the guy who was interrogating me.
What was he asking you about?
who, how, why, standard questions. Didn't break.
The same
Okay.
questions we were asking, except with more pain.
Yeah, well,
We were being polite, at least.
injections. They tried to keep me drugged. He was threatening me with some kind of truth drug. Don't know how real that was. Think if I'd been there any longer, he probably would have used it. If it, at this point, Sebastian returns with a tray, and he's also followed by another Vril. This one decidedly more rough looking. This is a guy dressed in kind of biker leathers.
Gangrel has entered the chat.
You also notice very distinctly that there are two daggers at this person's belt. Both of them are. If I can find it. Is it in here or is it in the other book? Yeah, it's in the other book. One moment, I've got a picture of it. Basically, the nice knives that some of you were looking at from the.
From the expansion
Yeah.
hardware book.
I thought there
There was a very
yes.
nice knife in there.
The Lashiki. Yeah, those of you who are into your weapons will recognise the Lashiki WR1K, which, if I can show it to camera, is that one.
Oh, what page is that?
That is page 34 of the Hardware 2119 book.
Thank you.
Yeah, he has a pair of those.
Yeah, I wanted one of those. I really wanted one of those.
Yeah.
I was looking at that quite long.
990 neck, though.
Yeah.
Yes. You can also see that he has a pair of cyber eyes.
Show off. God, I wanted those.
And he's holding a tray with some glasses and a bottle. No. He's holding a tray with some glasses. In his other hand, he has a bowl. He puts a tray down on the table, puts a bowl down on the floor, grabs a carafe. Grabs a flask and pours some water out for the dog.
Thank you.
You see him. If you're looking closely at him, you see him kind of eyeing the dog with a kind of glint in his eyes, and he kind of like lifts up the corner of his lips, and you can also see metal on his teeth. And he kind of like backs out of the room, eyeing Muffin, and then closes the door behind him.
A lot of people do like morning muffins for breakfast, so you know.
So yeah, you have a selection of drinks available. There is water. There is what he offers up as as wine. There is a flask of beer, and there is also synth juice. It is fruit.
Oh, so it's
Fruit
not the
flavored?
juice of synths.
No.
I'll have some fruit flavored juice.
I'll stick to water.
Okay.
I'll dive in with the juice.
Okay. It's perfectly pleasant. Rigel does not avail himself of anything, and neither does Sebastian. But he takes a seat again, and he gestures to those of you who, if you're still standing, to sit.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll
take a
take a
seat.
seat.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to slide the bowl of water closer to me so that Muffin is not out of my sight. Did not trust the look in that vampire's eye.
BRB, someone's just knocked on my door.
Oh, sure. So yeah, you. Actually, to be honest, I'll wait until Druck gets back because rather than having to repeat myself,
Yeah.
for that. But yeah, you can have refreshments as Sebastian and Rigel kind of like look at each other, and it's almost like there's an unspoken conversation going on there, but like Cyril, you're not aware of anything that. I mean, obviously, vampires are one of the more fanciful tales about them is that they have telepathy, but nothing that you have read or seen would indicate the truth of that.
Not really fanciful to those of us that, ride the minds of animals.
True. True.
I'm back, and I should have pointed out that, of course, I'm on wireless earbuds. I can still hear you, even at the front door.
Okay.
Yeah, that's typically how that works.
So Rigel looks at Sebastian, and says, "What the fuck happened then?" To be honest, I know probably about as much as you. I lost all of mine. They were ready. Whoever they were ready for us. They knew we were working together. I don't know how. And if I do find out, then someone's head is going to roll. But the backup came in afterwards and found Saif and Arabella, and got necessary treatment. They are, as I say, safe. But at this, like a kind of like red anger crosses his eyes, and he slams his fist on the table. They were packing wood.
I'm not laughing out loud in character.
And like all of you know how serious that is. For a team to be equipped with wood weapons, specific anti-vampire tech, is heavy going.
I'm suddenly having a Warrior Nun flashback now.
Wood by its very nature is in very short supply on the open market in New Europe. Also, there are prohibitions against the sale of anti-vampire weaponry. Because
yes, of course,
the
presumably we don't get much growth. With the light being screwed, everything's going to be hydroponics. So if it's wood, it's old wood.
Yes.
Suddenly all those recycling programs and upcycling programs and put your money where your mouth is.
If anybody has actual wood furniture and such, either they have been extremely lucky in scavenging it, it has been inherited, or if it is new wood, they are an exec of
Right.
one of the things, because the only
River.
natural woodland in New Europe is owned by Hansor Innovations and is under a dome, a metallo-glass dome outside Neo Munich, and it is entirely the purview of Hansor Innovations.
Of course it is.
No one else is allowed to go there.
Okay.
So yes, Sebastian looks furious, and his mouth was in a snarl that you could see his fangs. But he composes himself and sits back down.
So, you have no idea who they were. Got out mostly safely. Lost contact with 2 of your team. Got 3 of them back now. Rigel here says you might have something for us.
Well, on the note of who, Drut. Demon has a reasonable idea of
Does she now?
Of who they might be, or at least who was interrogating. Who was interrogating? Thing, because you have the recordings and the emails from.
Oh God, I forgot.
Oh wait, hang on. Yes, you do have the email data because
I did, yeah.
Yeah, we got everything.
Well, I was just trying to remember if you'd looked at his computer before you pulled the hard drive, and I think you did.
Yes, I did.
So,
I definitely wanted my own copy.
Yes, so you have the emails which detail the correspondent. You've only had a brief look at them, so you don't know the details, or you haven't had a chance to look at the details yet, because there is also a lot of data that will require unencrypting.
Yeah.
But from what you could gather from the emails, there was conversations between Rulen and his boss, a guy by the name of Callister Farod. Detailing
Sounds like an acronym. Anagram even.
Detailing that they will be, the office is, he will be hosting a special guest or a visitor who would have a guest with them. The interrogator's name is Lamar Biftek.
Right.
And doing a quick check, it seems that Biftek is from Trill Investments. He is an agent of Trill.
So, who have you annoyed at Trill Investments then?
Both of them look at you. Rigel with with a quizzical look, and Sebastian with a calculating one.
She's got the most neutral customer service smile you've ever seen.
Trill Investments, you say? No, that's gone German. Trill Investments?
Yeah, I was going to say, wow, I slip into German when I'm stressed.
Now that is interesting. Yes, naturally they would have the funds to supply any teams with wooden weaponry, but why would they be involved?
If I gave you a name of an interrogator, how would that sit with you?
Rigel looks up. That would sit very well with me. I want him dead.
Okay, I will.
Which brings me to my request. I said I had a job for you. Well, obviously there are 2 then on the table, and he looks at Sebastian, And Sebastian shrugs. Um, Obviously, without Orion, things are going to be very difficult for you. But I leave the decisions in your hands. We will obviously, by our agreement, do what we can. But should anything compromise our ability to operate, then we will naturally have to consider the agreement void. But at least for the time being, until we know Orion's exact status, the decisions are yours, Rigel.
I'm about to make an extrapolation from the data. Does this seem reasonable that it's the same interrogator dealing with both Orion and Rigel in two separate locations, and hence him physically transferring between them?
You've got brains of 9, don't you?
Yes.
I think with the data that you have, that is a logical interpretation to make.
Because I would not hold them in the same site if it were me. Sorry, if it were Demon. She wouldn't hold them in the same site. Yeah. She'd want them isolated, but also would want to contain the information and data extracted, because you don't want it passing through any extra brains on the way to you. So, yeah, she will speak up, and it was Vistek, wasn't it, the surname?
Biftek.
Viftek.
Lamar Biftek.
Gentleman you're after is Lamar Biftek. My guess is he was screwing both you and Orion simultaneously for information. Now, if you were being hit with the psychedelics and hallucinogenics to make you mentally vulnerable, the odds are good that he was. What's his relationship with pain, suffering, and resistance?
And sanity.
That too.
Well, let's
talking
just say,
pain, and all of a sudden, Demon's like, okay.
Well, let's just say Orion is cut from the same cloth I am.
Handy.
He looks at Sebastian. Have your informants found anything out? Sebastian shakes his head. No. This is the most information we have yet had. I can put out feelers with a name that should be something. And the fact that
we can give them the index, can't we, for the flying car?
Index?
You
sorry,
registration. License plate.
Sorry, yeah. Spot the person who has a bad habit of watching police interceptors.
You can do,
and
if you
also,
wish.
when it was scheduled to be returning today. Now, I would imagine with things going tits up, that may well change. But that is information I'm willing to give them as a show of good faith, and on the yes, hire us, and we can be trusted basis.
Okay, so you tell that to them?
Yeah.
Well, now, that is very generous of you.
Proof of competency. Besides, you seem like reasonable people.
You have my interest at least, and if Rigel is willing to deal further, then I think you may have yourself some employment should you so wish, Rigel. Rigel turns to him. Well, without Orion's authorization, do I have access to the money? I do not see why not. It is yours to spend as you decide, subject to the limits as agreed. Whatever you wish to pay them, that is your prerogative.
Sebastian trusts his lieutenants and partners.
Should
It's
you
comfortable to see that.
I like the sound of this, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can cope.
Yeah,
should you deal further with them, you will find that Sebastian is not your typical Vril.
he seems like a really awesome guy.
So Rigel goes, well, I've already promised them money for getting me here safely. Look, with the additional information, if you give Sebastian your details, and he's like looking between your group and Sebastian at this point. Look, with the additional info, I'll throw in a bit extra. Look, 150 neck each. Sebastian nods. Yeah. That can be arranged. Not a problem. And he pulls.
They're not probably short on his funds.
Yeah, and he pulls out a small device from his pocket. Demon, you will recognise it as, top of the line data device.
Right.
Slimline, equivalent to the latest iPhone sort of thing.
I'm sorry.
Or whatever passes for that in this setting.
Fair enough.
Well, and then Rigel turns to you. Look, two offers on the table. I'm going to give you an open contract on Lamar. Dead. He ends up dead. I don't care how. You do that, I'll pay you guys 2,000.
Is that each?
Usually hits
Total or each?
Total.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say that's a lot.
Funds don't stretch to each. As much as I want to see that bastard in the ground.
What was Lamar?
Yeah.
Lamar Biftech.
Yeah.
Alternatively, or I guess they might coincide, but I'm going to have people on this. We're going to have people on this also. 1,500 if you can give me info. If you can give us info on the confirmed whereabouts of Orion. If you can get him, if you can recover him, safe recovery, alive, I'll pay you $5,000.
I think we can roll. We
If
can
he's
roll
dead,
those jobs.
and you can recover his body, $3,000.
Not too shabby either way.
No, this is very important to me and my mates.
Information that would help us potentially find him. A complete profile on him and his most recent operations.
Any pictures and
I can give you descriptions.
implants?
I can give you descriptions. I can give you his capabilities. I can't really tell you anything about why we're here. That's for Orion to decide. If he's dead, then maybe things will change.
Okay, how about the details on the mission where he was taken? Where exactly?
As I say, he was taking point on where we were going. I don't know exactly where. Sebastian says I can give you the details. That is not a problem.
Going into a cyberpunk scenario without one hand tied behind our back, when is the other shoe going to drop?
I do have a question regarding these missions. We did tell you that we have a regular retainer relationship with the butterfly, and I'm wondering why that changed your behavior towards us.
Sebastian's eyebrow quirks. Rigel, you did not say that they are employees of the butterfly. Well, that definitely puts them higher in my estimation. And he turns to you as to why. The Butterfly has a reputation. They are well known for efficiency and effectiveness in their employees. We have a great deal of respect for the Butterfly. Assuming that you are of the caliber of their usual agents, then I see that any of these missions stand a higher chance of success.
Would you have any problem with us sharing the knowledge that we are going to be working for you for a bit with our...
I would prefer, at least for now, that you keep our involvement out of this.
Fair enough.
As far as you are concerned, this is a simple operative retrieval or revenge mission. You do not need to know anything further unless it becomes particularly relevant. And to be honest, the less you know, the better. Think of it from our positions. Should you get captured by Trill or whoever, the less you can tell them about our operations, our involvement.
That leads me to a question that I have that may be... I don't think you're going to like it, but I have to ask.
Try me.
The attackers that ambushed your unit knew you were coming. They knew who was coming. They knew what was coming. They knew what to pack.
Mm-hmm.
That smacks of
You got a
inside
leak.
information. What if Orion was the inside information and him being taken was his exfil?
Rigel slams his fist on the table. No. Straight. Accent. Straight no.
That was all of them, I think,
Yeah,
at once.
it was. That's probably a sign that I should pull things in. But no. Rigel is emphatic, and those of you with a high enough allure will strongly believe him.
I'm going to lay a comforting hand on his arm.
Mhm.
How does that work with your allure?
It works because even if you ignore the lack of personality, Lilith is a cold fish. This is why she doesn't come across well, and this is why the allure doesn't work. But it's not to do with her physical appearance.
Oh, I didn't say you
Yeah.
didn't look
Yeah.
good. I just meant
but,
you as a person with the...
And also, she has interrogation skills. She can manage people. She just can't do it by making them like her much. So
Yeah,
what
that's
she's
fair.
going to do is she is going to put one hand on his arm, which is power touch, and she's going to say, so you and Orion, siblings, lovers, old friends? And she's looking at him very closely because I want to see where he twitches.
Yeah. No, he takes a moment to compose himself. This is running off gut. Interrogation runs off guts, doesn't it?
Yes.
Does.
Yeah, and your guts is...
Guts 7.
7. Yeah, that's fine. Brothers in arms.
Ah. Fair enough.
And he looks at you. And then tugs on the collar of his jacket. He'll have one of these as well.
Good to know. That's important.
Is there anything we can tell him that will give us his instant trust?
What sort of things are you thinking about?
Well, we'll want him to cooperate with us fairly quickly if we do find him.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about Orion.
Yeah, sorry,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
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 Sorry,
what would you
that was
be
in
able
character.
to
Yeah.
give him? What would you be able to give him that we could pass on so that he knows we came from you? Pure verbal.
He wouldn't necessarily believe a verbal.
Is there a handshake?
Or maybe a token.
Tokens
Always
can be
things that
taken.
can get lost.
He looks at Sebastian. Is my pack still here? Sebastian nods. All right, one moment. Rigel leaves the room, and you are left with Sebastian for the time being. Anything you want to ask or say to Sebastian while Rigel is out of the room? If not, we'll cut to him coming back.
I take it you're not going to be as emotional about the possibility of a leak.
Came from somewhere.
What are the odds of a leak within your organisation? Orion or someone else?
It's possible. Your Master Corax had a very interesting proposition with that. Whilst I doubt it would be Orion, the possibility of a leak naturally exists. That somebody had been co-opted in my organization.
It's likely we'll come across it while we're trying to find Orion.
If you
Is there a bonus if we plug the leak?
There is. If you do happen to find one and deal with it, then yes. I obviously will be looking at it from my end as well.
Would you prefer them removed, or would you prefer them exposed so that you can turn them?
Removed. If you are as good as I hope that you are, then deal with them. Proof of being dealt with, obviously, I will want to know who it is. And proof that they have been dealt with will garner you an extra reward. How much will depend on who, what, where, obviously. But suffice to say that you will be adequately recompensed. You know the figures that we are dealing with here.
Okay, then.
If you bear with me one moment, I've just got to nip off for a few moments, but I will be back in just a couple of ticks.
Okay.
I think we might be able to find a trip. What?
I really hope it's not Orion.
I hope it's not Orion either.
I hope it's not Orion. I really don't fancy fighting Rigel for this.
No.
Well,
same.
the thing is if it is Orion, then we're the ones that have to kill Orion and bring the dead body back to get all of the.
We don't need all of him.
No, Rigel wants the body recovered.
True.
And I want the money. So
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, fair.
Yes.
But I feel like we might find a lead on Lamar's locations / places where Lamar tends to go in the data that we got from his office. It's possible, not totally likely, but it is possible that we might find the information in there, or at least have a starting point of where to look.
Yeah.
We can also do some searching out for where that vehicle is typically seen. We know at least one part of its flight path. I feel like if we trace Lamar, we will be closer to tracing Orion.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be the easier one to find.
Tracking that car is going to be easier, certainly.
Yeah, it's all relative.
Yeah.
I think between the rest of you, there's a bunch of surveillance.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fully useless at it, but
Mm.
I mean, that's kind of it's Night and Mai's thing.
Yep. Eye in the sky is what I do.
Yeah. Surveillance with tech is mine.
mine is genuinely mostly healing.
Mm.
I am totally
Well, I have a
recording this entire
feeling-
conversation, by the way.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that, folks.
Yes, I did say earlier I hit record internally.
Sorry about that, folks. Sorry, Father called that. Yeah, Sebastian. Unless do you have any other questions for Sebastian before Rigel
Not currently,
returns?
no.
Okay. One thing then, after that, before Rigel returns, he leans forward. Naturally, I do not necessarily expect you to take on anything that Rigel asks just like that. You may have other work or commitments. It is no big deal if you wish to decline our offer in pursuit of something safer. However, should you wish to depart, and we say no more of this, I will trust your integrity, your honor, that you will not expose what has gone on or what has been said here today or our operations. Should they be revealed and we discover that you are responsible, naturally, we will ensure that you are hunted down and exterminated. I just wanted to make sure that we are all on the same page here.
It's expected.
More or less.
Clear as
As
a
I
bell.
say, as I
Oh,
say,
absolutely.
what we are potentially asking of you is likely to be particularly hazardous and dangerous, particularly if Trill are involved. That is a big name. And one thing I hope that we are not taking on untowardly.
If we feel that we aren't up to the task, we will give you the information that we find for a price, obviously, but we will at least share what we cannot do.
Very well. And I, in turn, will ensure that should you take on this mission and not be able to complete it or wish to back out, the proviso is intact. You will be paid for what you have learned and what you are able to supply.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know that Rigel may not be thinking entirely rationally at this point, as it is a prerogative, naturally. He has lost, or at least... Anyway, we understand each other.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Rigel returns, and he's carrying a battered knapsack. She puts on the table, unlatches, and rifles through it a little bit. Whilst I can't give you this, if someone with a imaging device can take a picture of me with this,
Yep.
and
It's
he
done.
holds,
As soon as he holds it up.
Yeah.
he holds up an insignia patch, and particularly Silver and Volt, it doesn't take much to realise that this is the patch that would have adorned his jacket. And the image on it is that of an... Like, it's an embroidered badge or embroidered patch, dark blue field, and it's shaped like a stylized open book. That's the shape of the patch, and on it, as I say, dark blue background. The stitched image on the front is that of a pillared building. Looks like those of you who may have a fondness for old media might recognize it as kind of like the pillared portico in front of like a museum or something similar. Museums not really existing in this day and age. Private collections of the very rich are probably the closest that you would get.
I mean, it's already in my backstory that I'm a fan of old shit.
Yeah, well, exactly, and this is what's appealing to you primarily, Volt.
I mean, I do have one of the items that I started with might be related.
So yes, and below the image of this building is how best to describe it? Is again something that you have only seen in the historical records and films. It looks like a small sailing ship, like a masted sailing ship. Look, Orion will recognize this, and this is proof because I won't show this to just anyone. If you show him this image, he'll know you're true.
Okay.
So,
sounds good.
Do we have a deal?
We do.
Obviously, you can back out if you want. I'll get Sebastian to pay you your 150, and you can be on your way.
You seem like interesting people, and this is certainly lucrative. You have a deal.
I'll leave it to you to decide in what order you want to go into. Obviously, we'll be pursuing our own leads as well. If we find anything out, I'll be sure to let you know.
I'll send them my contact information for my agent.
Okay. Sebastian then gets up and from his pocket he pulls out a small black disc about the size of like an Othello piece, like a board game counter sort of thing, and he puts it on the table in front of you, Demon.
Right. Do I know what this is?
You are familiar with this tech. As he pushes the top, the convex top of it, there is a slight hum that all of you hear.
Right.
Demon, you see a flash of light, a thin pinprick of light emerge from the top. So it rises to a thin shaft of light about 12-15 inches tall, and it then blinks rapidly. Your eyes can't tell you what it is, but your neural frame can interpret it.
Data transfer.
Not so much a data transfer, as it is giving you a subnet address.
Oh right.
he then pushes the top again and pockets the thing, and he talks
Got
to you.
it.
If you need to get in touch, ping that,
Absolutely.
and someone will contact you imminently.
That data is now archived in at least 2 different places.
Very well
Right.
then. If you will give me your details, I will ensure that you are
Okay.
paid for bringing Rigel back to us.
Mhm.
And then I think you should be on your way, unless you had any further questions.
No.
Not
Nope.
at present. No.
Excellent. Well,
Okay.
I hope that
Where do we
this will
start?
lead to interesting, an interesting business opportunity for all of us.
Yep. And we do like money. Right.
I would be surprised if you didn't. I would be worried if you didn't. He laughs,
Yeah.
and he lets Rigel be, and he shows you to the door himself. Until we need to speak to each other again.
I'm going to offer
Okay.
a bow in
Mhm.
the same fashion that he offered when we came in the first time.
Okay.
Seeing Vault bow, I will suddenly realise actually that's a good idea and do the same.
I'll nod
Excellent.
my head.
Okay.
Right.
And he shows you out and closes the door behind you.
All right,
And
then.
you are standing in a shrouded alleyway outside a vampire safe house in the middle of the industrial district of Mokes.
Yeah, we're just going to casually and quickly go to the train station and depart.
Mm.
And thus ends Chapter 1 of Took a Midnight Train. A Gaia Complex adventure in the Connect the Dots campaign. Join us next time for the start of Chapter 2. Yeah, there you go. You have successfully completed a mission and
Yay!
adopted at least one more.
Yep.
I want to find out what what's his face has for us back at home.
Yeah.
Because if it lines up, I mean,
Is this just basically we're going around and we're collecting all the side quests now?
We also
So
have
just
a
if
light
you happen to
blue.
be in the right area, you can
Well,
just do
I mean,
them all in
that's-
one go.
I mean,
That's-
to just part the cone a bit, because we are out of character now. This is a campaign, and I'm obviously, for you guys know as my players, I have talked a little bit about this, but for the chat, this is a campaign. I expect this to be long running. It is going to be multi-chapter. The chapters may not necessarily follow sequentially in terms of plot, but it is up to the players to decide what they wish to do next. And I will prep the chapters accordingly. So, on that basis, I'm not going to assume that you are necessarily going to follow this as chapter 2. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out your options. You have got these missions. This is kind of like 1/2 missions that have been given to you by Rigel. There's the assassination of Lamar Biftek. There is the information or recovery of Orion, dead or alive, as a second half, depending on what you find. We have a third option in the sense of what Knight or what Korax has a potential lead on something from Vanessa, and Shard, I know, has something potentially that she may want to bring up. Similarly, Serigil, you might wish to deal more with your current situation, should you so wish, or there is whatever Vanda has to offer you. Actually, I will say that so that you have got so that you know roughly what you've got. Vanda texts. You get a message from Vanda, outlining like what he would like you to do next, and that is to investigate some missing shipments of the butterfly's goods from east of the city near Prague.
Okay.
So you'll be far out east if you take on that.
Okay.
I
I
don't
mean,
have time.
we've got time to
You
choose.
have got time to
offline.
decide. If you wish
But
to
I'm
take the
kind
time
of-
to think about it, then that is fine.
Yeah.
Or you can not.
I want
or
to
you can knock through.
prioritize Orion personally,
I
because that's
want.
worth extra money to us. And the more time he's being interrogated and ripped to shit, the more
Yeah.
likely we are to get the $3,000 rather than the $5,000.
Yes, you do
Yeah.
suspect that that is the most time sensitive.
Yeah.
Should you so wish to pursue it, but obviously,
Corex is sorry.
I will also say that you all know the sums of money you have been offered for this are ludicrously high. That is a lot of money for a team of your level.
Yeah.
Sorry, level is the wrong way of putting it. Your experience. Sorry, you were going to say, Shard?
No, I was just going to bring up. Speaking of experience,
Speaking of experience, yes, I will deal with that off cam and
Okay.
let you know
Okay.
in the Discord. Because you may also want to do a bit of. There is also the issue of the equipment that you have recovered and may wish to sell off, and fence and things like that. So there is potentially shopping to be done off camera as well.
Operation.
I've just come to the conclusion that Demon is the only one without an ulterior background story at the moment.
At
You
the
don't know
moment.
that.
That's depressing.
Oh no! Don't worry.
Be
I
careful
have.
what you wish for.
I definitely have thoughts there. You have given me enough in your backstory to work with.
I had a feeling.
It just might not. The plot hook might just not have shown up yet. That's the thing.
Fair enough.
Not everyone. I will say I have got plot hooks for everyone. They may not necessarily show up at the same time, unless you decide to go hunting for them.
I don't think I want to go hunting for my
I'm definitely on board with doing Orion first because I do want to try and get him before he's killed. But the thing that I have is a potentially super lucrative thing because it deals with rare books. Books.
There is also information from the material that you took from TMP and the hard
Yes.
drive that might also play into this.
Yep. When you'd stepped away, we talked about following up on Lamar first because that could potentially lead us to Orion, and we might find information on how to find Lamar in the data we've collected.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds like a sensible.
Yeah.
That sounds like a sensible way of proceeding.
It's going to be parceling out that data to have everybody do their bit rather than having only one or two of us doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense as well. Like as I say, you reckon you know that there is a lot of data here. There is also you may also need to contact other people. Other people may wish to speak to contacts. There is also you reckon that it will at least be a day or two of solid work to try and decrypt any the encrypted information you have
Yeah.
found.
Yes. If I'm going through the decryption, then anything I've decrypted or anything that was unencrypted to start with is largely going to be grunt work. And that data can get passed all down to the people who aren't particularly techie, because that's going to be natural language processing more than it's going to be pure data.
Yep, that is fair. So, how did you all find chapter 1?
That's fantastic.
So much
Pretty
fun.
darn cool. Thank you for running
Yeah.
it.
Oh, thank you.
It's always interesting starting a new game,
Mm.
starting a new setting, not necessarily the same thing. But yeah, I mean, there's always that spin up period. But
Yes.
yeah, I think once we got into the groove of it, yeah, and the system works well.
Yeah,
I do like the 2D12.
Yeah, I like it. I like it as well. Also from like a GM perspective, in the sense that I'm not making you roll for every little thing. That the rolls do. I hope the rolls feel significant that I'm asking for. Even if my one worry, and for chat, we're delving into a little bit of like system and set, because it's a little bit of a debrief, because this is the first time I'm running this system as well. Like my one worry is that, particularly with other like crunchy systems, is that your access to information feels a lot easier in this, and that's a head thing that I have to get around, because we're in something like D&D or similar, like a lot of the information would be gated behind rolls, and you are high enough, like you've got high enough stats that I'm not having to ask for those rolls, perception rolls that or awareness rolls to spot things. If you have got the right person doing the thing, you just get that information. I think if you had decided to split up in a different way,
when we did do our first split? Yeah.
Then, like, particularly if you're asking somebody with lower numbers, or somebody who doesn't have the surveillance skill or the awareness skill to do something, then it would be a very different perspective. But yeah, I'm also liking the fact that I can just give you information without making you have to work too hard for it, if you have got a sensible plan.
It's having a plan, and it's being in the right place to get the information.
Yeah.
And we did a really bang up job building characters with overlapping skills.
Yeah.
And our team is basically a surveillance thieving team.
Yes.
Versus a destroy things team.
I will say that I gave you a mission that would play to your strengths for mission 1. This was an introduction to the system and the setting for all of us, and I hope that you all managed to get to do things that play to your character strengths. I know some a little more than others, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how chapter 2 goes. I will say that it will get darker from here on out. Obviously, depending on the missions that you're doing. This was an ease in terms of tone, as well. There are definitely more, like, the darker elements of cyberpunk and such will come into play depending on the missions that you choose.
I expect the one that we've just chosen is going to delve right the heck into it.
Yeah, you've probably pushed for one of the darkest, the darker plot lines. At least for what is potentially coming up. But I trust you to deal with it with aplomb, and yeah, we will see how that fares.
I'm just glad that we got into the agreement that we can nope out at any time.
Well, I mean, you can nope out at any time you wish. We will see what consequences have built up as a result of that. I'm definitely not calculating the consequences of what Mission 1 has brought you.
Oh boy.
Oh, well, there's that.
No, I'm wanting to build up influence, and this is as good a way as any to start building influence. So
Sebastian is a good person for that.
Probably not killing him would be an idea.
Yeah, we will see how that works out.
I don't want to even think about trying to kill him.
Could you cybernetically, not cybernetically, could you do tooth caps for dogs with wood splinters? Would that be dangerous towards vampires? Just asking.
It wouldn't go deep enough.
As in,
Unless they're-
are you trying to basically give the dog wooden teeth?
Largely, yeah. But I was thinking in terms of caps because, you know, so you do want to maintain something nice and solid underneath. But yeah, basically, yeah, wooden teeth for a dog.
Yeah.
I mean, you could look into it.
By the time you
It's an
find
option.
anything on that, I'm going to have made my decision to probably sell it to what's his face.
I mean, fair. Cool. In which case, I think that this is a reasonable time and juncture to bring this session to a close.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Thank you to my wonderful players. Thank you to chat. I hope you have enjoyed this and that you are finding this campaign interesting. Do let us know either in chat or on the Discord. !Discord will bring that up. If you do wish to support the channel and aren't already following, please do. It really does help out. Alternatively, if you do wish to help us financially, you can sub, you can gift, you can donate bits, or you can donate to our PayPal directly. All of which goes to help the channel with assets, VTTs, rulebooks, that sort of thing. Some of our folks are streamers in their own right, and we'll have potentially things coming up this week. Drut, what's coming up with you?
Tomorrow, I am taking a complete diversion from this awful dark setting and going with the merely gaslighting cult activity of the chant, which I think is coming up to endgame. I'm not 100% sure though, and I'm looking sideways at it.
It feels like it, but
it feels like it, but I don't have any faith in this whole situation.
It
except
could be a fake out.
It could be, except that I'm running out of people who aren't dead.
I mean,
That is my biggest problem.
So long as one certain person ends up dead, I think we will be happy.
Oh, I am hoping for a wood chipper fate for him, but never mind. And then on Thursday, I should be finishing the room 1, and then I will either move straight onto the room 2, or I will move to something completely different as a bit of a palate cleanser from swearing puzzles.
Fair enough. I mean, talking of wood chipper endings, actually, any interest in playing the latest Dark Pictures anthology game? It looks actually better than the rest of them.
I don't know. I got faked out by the first one and annoyed.
Oh, Man and Madame was terrible.
Oh, Man and Madame was terrible. The second one, I feel, did not stick the landing. It should have done, and it was just it went for a rug pull instead, and unfortunately it was just an The third one I've heard good things about, but that's again it's a little bit shaky. But I haven't heard. We're up to the fourth one now, aren't we?
It's fourth or fifth. I can't remember exactly.
Fourth, I think. I can't remember, but I haven't heard any details apart from actually.
Yeah, I'd say I've been watching a playthrough of it, and one of the lead characters, or one of the protagonists, is voiced by Phil Kay.
Oh bloody hell!
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. For British viewers of the 90s, early 2000s, Phil Kay played a irritating character called Dennis Pennis, who would go up to celebrities on the red carpets and things like that and attempt to be annoying.
He was also in Dracula Unbound.
Yes.
Where he did quite well as a monk / priest, and it all got very strange.
His serious ones have actually been pretty decent.
Yeah. But I'm trying to remember, what's the title of the newest?
I can't remember.
Okay,
Um,
no worries.
no, it has eluded me. Anywho, Night Bites. What do you have
Yes.
for streams this week?
Largely unplanned until Thursday,
Mhm.
whereupon I dive back into Forza for fine-tuning cars in readiness for team action racing the series on Friday. And then Elite on Saturday, I think we are going to be hunting down materials. So shooting things, exploring things, shooting more things on planets,
Mhm.
and flying around in an SRV.
Cool. Shard, do you have any plans for this week?
Yeah, Tuesday about 1 a.m. GMT. I'll be streaming more Mega Man, old school, and hopefully this Thursday won't go bad, and I'll be able to start playing Legend of Zelda original.
Fingers crossed that can happen. And as for myself, I will be streaming at my usual times next week. So on Wednesday at 6 p.m. GMT, I will be carrying on Voices and All with medieval marginalia mysteries in Pentiment. And then next Friday at 3 will be more cards and chill chat. Card chat and chill. I need to fix on a name for that slot. But it will
Yeah.
be more magic chat as I rebuild another one of my commander decks. Probably the blue black bounce deck. And then next Saturday I'll be back with more Minecraft. Apologies for the lack of gameplay yesterday. I just needed to rest my voice. So yeah, that's it from us. Again, thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Do join us on the Discord if you want to chat about all things gaming or otherwise. We are very friendly. You are a lovely community, and we will bid you all a fond farewell. Take care. See you all
Bye.
next time. Oh, yeah. See you all next time.
Bye.
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 Bye bye.